Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about PlayStation 2, N64, and Nintendo Switch emulation. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about PlayStation 2 emulation on Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. So pretty much everything with Play. Play just got a brand new update. Version 0.54 has just dropped. With this version we've got some fixes and some improvements. For fixes, they fixed some issues with CD-ROM CHD support, which is file compression. Improved handling of floating point clamping, fixing issues with games like TMNT3, Drakengard, and many others. And they've also fixed some save state stability issues. Now moving on to improvements here. The first one says fixes, but I'm going to classify this as an improvement. They have compatibility fixes, for example, Toy Story 3 and WALL-E are now playable. And on the desktop version, they've added a way to disable the close confirmation pop-up. This is the biggest part about the whole announcement. Well, arguably the biggest part about the whole announcement. This release also marks the milestone of 600 playable games. If we take a quick peek at the compatibility tracker, things are looking really good. 2,184 games have been tested. 0.23% of those is nothing. 4.12% are listed as loadable, 16% for the intro, a whopping 52% you can get in game, and 27.52% of those games are playable. Now, some people might say these numbers pale in comparison to Aether SX2 and PC SX2, and I wouldn't disagree with you. That's kind of a true statement. But at the same time here, these numbers are not nothing. They are getting better, and I'm all for supporting emulation here, especially considering Play does not require a BIOS file. It's available on a bunch of different systems, including in a web browser, and it's 100% free. The more emulators, the better. So if you want to check out Play on Android, it's available right on the Google Play Store, and if you want to check it out for pretty much every other system, head to purei.org. I'll leave a link in the description below. Once you're here, click on Downloads and then scroll down and pick it up for your system of choice. Next up here, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Yuzu. And if you're using Yuzu, you might really like this update. Project Andrio is now live. It's been merged into the mainline build, and this is a really big update. It's a huge update. It replaces the current Yuzu audio systems. It implements support for recent audio revisions, making games that use those become playable and output sounds. Games like Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes and Yomawari 3 are now playable. On top of that, it implements missing audio effects, so games like Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury now sound correctly in certain areas, like being underwater. And it implements audio inputs. This is also big. Games that use the microphone are now playable, specifically Let's Sing. Admittedly, I have no interest in games like Let's Sing, but at the same time they are popular, and beefing up an emulator in terms of compatibility is always a good thing. Last up, and definitely not least, we're talking about N64 emulation with M64P. Now, M64P for some reason has been incredibly active lately, which is a really good thing. The last time we talked about this emulator was about a week ago when we talked about version 07.1. And since then, we've got almost a daily update for M64P. In fact, the last update was about 6 minutes ago, 07.6. So since version 07.1, version 07.2 adds back screenshot support using Vulkan. 07.3 fixes resolution setting and fixes bilinear filtering. Moving up to 07.4, and this is a big one. There's a new release here they call the Dynamic SI DMA Duration, which is basically some controller improvements, especially if you're using the RAFnet adapter to use an actual N64 controller. At a high level, the controller performance has been amped up, and in some games like Body Harvest, the CPU usage is halved. Moving up to version 0.75, the auto updater has been fixed, and you'll need to manually update to this version if it's not working for you right now. And moving up to version 0.76, which was just released, we've got some performance improvements and some accuracy improvements. So there's a small accuracy improvement for audio, and they've also reworked some RSP timing code, and that does improve performance in games like Gauntlet Legends. They've added in support for LibDragon RSPQs, which is a library used for homebrew games, and this is a big one if you like to play these games online. The new RSP code requires a version bump of the NetPlay servers. You'll need to update to this version to continue using NetPlay. So as always, I will leave a link to this in the description below. Feel free to check it out. Last up here is a bonus piece of news, I guess. It appears that the bad practices of gaming are kind of making their way into the auto industry. It's a very weird pairing. I think Tesla does stuff like this already, but at the same time here, BMW has started selling heated seat subscriptions for $18 a month. Now this isn't in North America just yet, but you can bet it's probably coming here. And it's a very interesting thing. I mean, they include the heated seats already in the vehicle, but you gotta pay a monthly fee in order to use them. Absolutely ridiculous, and we'll see where this goes. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Let me know your thoughts about anything we talked about today in the comments below. Play Yuzu or M64P. Or I guess even BMW if you want to go down that route. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.